God says, congratulations, today, $1 trillion will come. Money prayer. Beloved child, I ask you to pause for a moment. Do not scroll. Do not rush. Heaven itself has bent time so that this message can collide with your life right now. Nothing about this moment is random. Every step you've taken, every sigh in the night, every tear you thought slipped unnoticed, has led you here. I arranged this meeting because your name has been spoken in the courts of eternity, and the scroll bearing your inheritance has been unsealed. Listen carefully. The measure written beside your name is 1 trillion. This is not a metaphor. This is not exaggeration. This is a decree. It is a covenant. It is justice. I have counted the years of loss, the weight of shame, the nights of despair, and the cost of betrayal. I've counted them all, and heaven's balance requires restoration on a scale worthy of what was stolen. This is why the number is staggering. This is why the blessing is vast. Do you feel the stirring in your chest? That trembling is not fear, it is recognition. Your spirit knows that this word belongs to you. Even as your mind wrestles, your soul agrees because I planted this promise long before your first breath. You are not stumbling into chance. You are stepping into covenant. Archangel Michael stands beside you. Even now, his wings blaze with fire. His sword shines with light. He has fought through unseen realms to preserve this moment. He has cut down snares laid against your destiny, silenced voices of accusation, and guarded the treasure sealed with your name. He is not idle. He is urgent. He is roaring over you now. The decree has been spoken. The release has begun. Child, do not say to yourself, "This is too much." Do not shrink in disbelief. You are not chosen because of your merit or cleverness. You are chosen because I chose you. I preserved you through storms that would have broken ordinary hands. I carried you when despair pressed hard. I covered you when betrayal cut deep. I refined you, not to punish you, but to prepare you. You stand today because I sustained you for this very hour. 1 trillion is not indulgence. It is not vanity. It is legacy. It is justice. It is mercy. Through this release, families will rise, communities will be restored, and generations yet unborn will walk free of chains that once bound them. This is not about comfort alone. It is about calling. This is not about wealth alone. It is about witness. The clock is racing. The window is open. The angels are already moving. Your part is simple but decisive. Believe, align, and act. Whisper aloud where you are. I receive. Let those words echo beyond your lips into your spirit. Then type Amen boldly as a covenant seal. Do not treat it as ritual. Treat it as testimony. Every act of faith is recorded. Every agreement echoes in eternity. Beloved, this is the beginning. Do not shrink back. Do not delay. The decree of 1 trillion is alive, sealed, and moving toward your life. Stand awake. Stand humble. Stand believing. Beloved child, listen closely. God hears your heart's deepest cries, the silent whispers of your soul that have long yearned for an answer. You've asked, perhaps even in the quietest corners of your thoughts, why the road seemed so long, why the burdens were so heavy, and why the doors of opportunity remained closed despite your persistent faith. Why, you wondered. Didn't things change when I knocked, believing that you would open the door? And now, my dear child, I speak to you with love, with clarity, and with purpose. Every delay you faced was my protection. Every loss you encountered was a redirection. Every moment of silence was preparation for what was about to come. You were never forgotten. You were preserved. Now, let me tell you this clearly. What I am releasing into your life is not ordinary. It cannot be measured by earthly standards or understood by the logic of men. It is not a mere wish. It is not a dream. It is not something that can be dismissed as imagination or exaggeration. This is a divine covenant. This is a matter of justice. This is restoration. The release that I have promised you is one that surpasses the limits of the natural world. It carries with it a weight so magnificent, so vast, that it is beyond the grasp of mere human understanding. You, my child, have been given the blessing of $1 trillion. Yes, I said it, 1 trillion. Do not allow doubt to take root in your heart. This is not symbolic. This is a heavenly decree, written and sealed with your name. I hear your prayers. And now I answer. Why such magnitude? You might ask, why is the blessing so great? The answer is simple, yet profound. The weight of your losses was immense. The enemy fought relentlessly to steal your destiny, to silence your voice, and to strip you of your rightful inheritance. Generations before you cried out to me, but they never saw the fullness of what I am about to deliver into your life. Cycles of lack sought to choke your bloodline. Patterns of shame tried to suffocate your very identity. But know this, my child, I, the Lord your God, will not overlook injustice. I measure every tear you've shed, every painful moment you've endured. I remember every time the enemy tried to diminish your worth, and I will repay it with interest. This release, this blessing, is not just compensation. It is divine justice. The size of the release reflects the size of the battle you fought. You have wondered, am I ready for such a blessing? Can I truly carry something of this weight? Hear me, child, for I tell you this. You are not alone in this journey. The same angels who have guarded this blessing will walk beside you as you steward it. The very Spirit that is speaking to you now will guide you through every decision, every step. Do not lean on your own understanding. I will surround you with wisdom. I will send counsel into your path, and I will steady your steps as long as your heart remains humble. Proverbs 3, verses 5 through 6 reminds us, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. Archangel Michael, your heavenly guardian, has been with you all along. He has fought battles in unseen realms, cutting down traps that would have ensnared you. His sword has struck down accusations raised against your name in the courts of heaven. His wings have been your shield when the storms of life pressed in around you. You may have wondered why certain plans against you fell apart without explanation, why lies spoken about you never gained ground, why your enemy suddenly fell silent. It was Michael. It was the warrior of heaven, doing his duty to protect what has been sealed with your name. And now, he cries out with urgency. The scroll has been unsealed. The decree has been read. The release has begun. This is no mere passing word. Do not treat it lightly. This is your moment of covenant. This is the hour of your inheritance. The heavens are stirring, moving in response to the promises that have been spoken over you. The treasury of heaven is being opened, and the measure of blessing is being poured out into your life. You must not scroll past this message. You must not hesitate. You must not delay. This release is not just for your personal comfort. It is for a greater purpose. It is not only about wealth. It is not only about receiving a financial miracle. It is about witness. It is about restoration. It is about rebuilding broken families. It is about bringing mercy where despair has reigned. It is about breaking cycles of poverty, shame, and lack that have held your bloodline captive for generations. You, my child, are not called to hoard this blessing. You are called to carry it, to flow with it. You are not meant to consume it for yourself alone. You are meant to distribute it, to let it bring life, hope, and restoration to others. You are a vessel of my love, my mercy, and my abundance. Do you believe that this miracle will come into your life? Are you ready to receive it? Will you let it transform you and those around you? The choice is yours. But remember, this blessing comes with a purpose. Your life is not meant to be lived in isolation. It is meant to touch others, to be a beacon of hope in a world that desperately needs it. Now, as you read these words, let me ask you, how will you use this blessing? Will you allow it to shape the way you see yourself and your purpose in this world? Will you let it guide you toward the people and places where it can make the greatest impact? The Lord has heard your prayers. He has seen your struggles, your sacrifices, and your faithfulness, and now He is releasing a financial miracle into your life. But this is not just about money. It is about the opportunity to fulfill your divine calling. Remember, when God blesses you, it is never just for you. It is for His kingdom. And when you receive this blessing, ask yourself, how will I serve others with it? How will I be a good steward of the abundance that is coming into my life? The Lord is calling you not just to receive, but to give. This is the true meaning of prosperity, not in accumulating wealth, but in using it to bring light into the world. So, let this prayer for financial miracle resonate deep within you. Let it stir your spirit and remind you that you are not alone. God has seen your struggles, your heart, and your faith, and now He is preparing to pour out abundance into your life. Trust Him, walk with Him, and know that you are a vessel of His glory. And as you receive this blessing, may it multiply in ways you could never imagine, bringing you peace, joy, and fulfillment beyond measure. This message is not just a fleeting blessing, but a generational healing, one that will echo through the ages. I invite you now to take a step in faith. Faith, dear one, requires a response. A covenant cannot be fulfilled without your agreement. Your declaration is the bridge between heaven's decree and its manifestation on earth. So, whisper aloud, I believe. I receive. Let those words reverberate within your spirit, filling every part of you until they settle deep in your bones. Don't just speak those words, but also type them boldly as a testimony. Do not underestimate the power of such an act. Every word you speak in faith is recorded in heaven's records. Every yes you speak inscribes your agreement into the divine scrolls. Child, do not fear the responsibility that comes with this blessing. Once the blessing is upon you, I will not abandon you. I will guide you, I will guard you, and I will keep you. The same hand that preserved you during the waiting season will sustain you as you enter into overflow. The same Spirit that whispered in the silence will guide you in abundance. The same angels who fought for your inheritance will stand guard as you bring that abundance into the world. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are not unworthy. You are chosen. You are preserved. You are appointed for greatness. That is why this message has reached you today. That is why the number is immense. That is why the scroll has been opened in your name. $1 trillion is not a dream. It is a decree. It is written. It is sealed. It is coming to you even now. Stand awake. Stand believing. Stand ready. The angels are already in motion. Archangel Michael's sword is raised high. The treasury of heaven is wide open. The release of your financial blessing is now within your grasp. My beloved child, let your heart be still and your ears open. I speak not in riddles or symbols, but in clear decree. The inheritance written beside your name is vast beyond human calculation. $1 trillion. I say it again, so the whispers of doubt from the enemy may be silenced. This is not your imagination at play. This is not an exaggeration. It is a covenant sealed in heaven, being delivered into your life. For years, you have walked through seasons of hardship, seasons where nothing seemed to grow, where the ground seemed barren despite your prayers. You sowed seeds in faith, and yet no harvest came. You stretched your faith, but the doors remained shut. You held promises like fragile glass in your hands, only to see them shatter. In those moments, you cried out, asking if I saw you, if I remembered you, if my word was still true. Hear me now, not one tear of yours was wasted. Not one prayer went unheard. Not one night of weeping went unnoticed. Every moment, every sigh, every broken place has been woven into the tapestry of restoration that is now unfolding in your life. The magnitude of this blessing is not a coincidence. It is directly proportional to the magnitude of the pain you've endured. Justice demands it. The enemy fought you not because he was bored, but because he saw what you could not yet see. He knew the weight of your destiny. He fought against you out of fear, not of you, but of what you were destined to become. He sent storms to break your faith, betrayals to crush your heart, and delays to wear out your hope. But through it all, I preserved you. You didn't survive because you were strong. You survived because I am faithful. And now, dear one, the balance must be corrected. The scales must be tipped in your favor. This is why the decree is 1 trillion. This is not a reward for indulgence. This is justice. This is restoration for every opportunity that was stolen, for every shattered dream, for every painful night. Archangel Michael has been fighting for you. When you felt anxious in the night, battles were raging in the unseen. When you felt heaviness in your chest, it was warfare in the heavens. Michael's sword flashed and scattered the enemy. His wings shielded your home. When danger stalked close, you are alive in this moment because Michael refused to surrender your inheritance. In this moment, I ask you, do you believe this? Do you believe that you are ready to receive this blessing? Do you believe that you have the power to manifest abundance in your life? The power to attract money, to draw the resources that will fulfill your destiny, is already within you. This message is not just a declaration for the future. It is a present reality. Stand in agreement with heaven. Speak your faith into the atmosphere, for this is how to attract money, how to manifest abundance, and how to see your blessings unfold. Beloved child, hear me now, for today is the day. Today, the unimaginable, the miraculous, is unfolding right before your very eyes. $1 trillion. Yes, you heard me right. 1 trillion, written, sealed, and released with your name on it. This is not a mistake. This is not an accident. This is not a coincidence. This is divine decree, and it is yours. Let this truth settle deep in your heart, and know that you are not here by chance. You have been chosen. He has fought for you when you were too weary. He shielded you when you were too tired to move forward. And now, after all the battles, after all the seasons of struggle, he stands in victory, declaring, "The scroll is open, the decree is sealed, the release is here." Do not doubt his urgency. He has seen how many times distraction robbed you in the past, how hesitation delayed your obedience, and how opportunities slipped away. But this time, beloved, it is different. This is no rehearsal. This is the final summons. The decree is written in heaven, the treasury is open, and the angels are already in motion, preparing the way for your inheritance. You must not delay. You must take hold of this moment. Child, listen to me. This inheritance is not just for you, it is through you. You are the vessel through which God's mercy, justice, and healing will flow. Families bound in debt will breathe again because of you. Communities long pressed under the weight of poverty will rise because of you. Children unborn will walk into freedom because of what flows through your hands. You are not called to hoard. You are called to flow. You are not chosen to consume. You are chosen to carry. Yes, I know the doubts are rising in your heart. I hear your whisper. What if I fail? What if I am not ready? What if the weight is too great? But child, know this, you do not carry this alone. I will walk with you, says the Lord. I will strengthen your heart. I will surround you with wise voices. I will teach you to steward with humility. The same Spirit that whispered to you in the night will guide you in the day. The same angels who have been protecting your inheritance will guard it once it rests in your hands. You are not alone in this. Now, I ask you to align visibly with heaven's timing. Faith without action is unfinished. Speak aloud now. I believe, I receive. Declare this out loud and type boldly as a covenant act 1-11. One for the Father, one for the Son, and one for the Spirit. This is a triple seal, a declaration of agreement with heaven. It is not a ritual, it is testimony. It is covenant. It is your yes inscribed into eternity. Psalm 20. Verse 1 reminds us, "The Lord hear thee in the day of trouble. The name of the God of Jacob defend thee." You are not walking this path alone. He hears your cries. He knows your needs. And He has already prepared the way. Beloved, this blessing is not just about surviving. It is about legacy. It is about healing your family line, lifting your community, and establishing justice where injustice once reigned. This is the testimony that will silence the mouths of doubters and magnify His faithfulness. Others will ask, "How could this be?" And you will boldly declare, "The Lord my God did this." $1 trillion, written, sealed, released, guarded, and assigned to your name. Stand awake, stand ready, and stand believing. Heaven has moved. Michael roars. The decree is active. The inheritance is here. Beloved child, let your heart be still and your ears open, for this is not a riddle. This is a divine decree. The inheritance written beside your name is vast beyond human calculation. 1 trillion. This is not imagination. This is not exaggeration. It is a covenant sealed in heaven, and it is being delivered to you. For years, you have walked through wilderness seasons. You have labored in prayer when there seemed to be no harvest. You stretched your faith when doors remained shut. You held promises in your hands, only to watch them slip away. But hear me now, not one tear was wasted. Not one prayer went unheard. Every broken place, every silent cry, every tear you shed has been woven into the tapestry of restoration that is unfolding in your life right now. The release is here. This is your moment. You are chosen. Your inheritance is not just for you, but through you. Take hold of it now, and let your faith activate the abundance that heaven has already prepared for you. This is your time. This is your season. The size of the blessing is not random. It is equal to the size of the pain. Justice demands it, and so it shall be. The enemy struck against you because he saw what you could not yet see, your extraordinary destiny. He didn't fight you out of boredom. He fought because he was afraid of what you would become. You were marked for greatness, even though you couldn't fully recognize it at the time. The enemy sent storms to shake your faith, betrayals to wound your heart, and delays to wear down your hope. But in all of this, you were preserved. You didn't survive because of your own strength, but because of the faithfulness of God. And now, the scales of justice must be tipped in your favor. Your time has come, and the blessing has been decreed. This promise is not just a distant wish, It is a reality, and it is for you. The number has been declared, 1 trillion. This is not a symbol of indulgence, but of justice, a full restoration for everything that was taken from you, every opportunity stolen, every broken dream, and every sleepless night. This blessing is a divine recompense for all of it. Archangel Michael has been relentless on your behalf, fighting unseen battles you were unaware of. When you felt anxiety, when you couldn't sleep at night, it was because battles were being fought in the heavens. You might not have seen it, but Michael was on your side, wielding his sword, scattering the enemy, and protecting your inheritance. You are standing here today, alive and breathing, because Michael refused to let the enemy steal what belongs to you. He fought for you when you were too tired. He shielded you when you were too weary. And now, he stands in victory, declaring, "The scroll is open, the decree is sealed, the release is here." Do not doubt the urgency of this moment. Michael has seen how distractions have robbed you in the past. He's witnessed opportunities slip away because hesitation delayed your obedience. But now, this is not a practice run. This is the real thing. This is final. The decree has been written, and the angels are already moving. You cannot afford to delay any longer. This inheritance is not just for you. It is through you. You are chosen to be a vessel of mercy, a steward of justice, and a carrier of healing. The impact of this blessing will extend far beyond your own life. Families bound in debt will find freedom because of you. Communities that have been oppressed by poverty will rise up because of you. Children yet unborn will walk in freedom because of what flows through your hands. You are not called to hoard this blessing. You are called to be a conduit, to allow it to flow. You are not chosen to consume. You are chosen to carry and distribute. I know the doubts that may be creeping into your heart. You may be whispering, "What if I fail? What if I am not ready? What if the weight is too much for me to carry?" But child, you are not alone in this. God will walk with you every step of the way. He will strengthen your heart, surround you with wise counsel, and teach you to steward this blessing with humility. The same Spirit that spoke to you in the quiet moments of your life will continue to guide you. The same angels who have protected your inheritance will continue to guard it once it is in your hands. You will not be left to carry this alone. Now, it's time for you to align visibly with heaven's decree. Faith without action is incomplete. Speak aloud and declare, "I believe, I receive." Then, as an act of covenant, type boldly, 100, one for the Father, one for the Son, one for the Spirit. This is not just a ritual, it is a testimony, a covenant between you and God. Your agreement with heaven's timing is now inscribed in eternity's scroll. As you stand in faith and trust, remember that this moment is not only about you. It's about how you will attract abundance into your life and manifest the financial miracles that God has ordained for you. You are a part of a much larger purpose, and the blessing of financial freedom, health, and restoration is flowing toward you right now. Don't hesitate. Your inheritance is being released, and it is waiting for you to claim it. In the words of Proverbs 10:22, "The blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it." This blessing is pure, it is right, and it is yours to receive. So, get ready for abundance, and be prepared to share it with the world. You are ready, you are chosen, and you are not alone. The time to manifest your wealth, your purpose, and your destiny is now. Beloved, today, I bring you a message beyond survival. This is about legacy. It is a blessing that will heal your family's lineage, lift your community, and bring justice where injustice once reigned. It will be a testimony that silences the voices of doubt, and magnifies the faithfulness of the Lord. Others will look at you and ask, "How could this be?" And you will respond with great joy. The Lord my God did this. $1 trillion. It is written, sealed, and released, ready and assigned to your name. Heaven has moved on your behalf, and the decree is now active. Archangel Michael roars in triumph, confirming that your inheritance is here. Stand awake, stand ready, stand believing. Your moment has come. I urge you to pause for a moment and take in the significance of this hour. The season you are stepping into is unlike anything you have known. For so long, you carried heavy burdens that made your shoulders sag. You walked through seasons of delay, and your patience was stretched thin. You endured betrayals that cut deep into your heart, and you suffered loss upon loss until you questioned if heaven had heard your cries. But hear me now, nothing was lost. Nothing was wasted. Every tear you shed, every sigh you breathed, and every prayer that seemed unanswered was not in vain. These were seeds sown in faith, and today, the harvest is breaking through the soil, ready to manifest. The scroll of heaven has been opened, and beside your name, in unshakable ink, is written this decree: $1 trillion. I say it again to declare the weight of this blessing and to silence every voice of doubt. This is not a metaphor, nor an exaggeration. This is a divine decree. This is a covenant of justice that matches the weight of the pain you have endured. You may wonder why the figure is so vast. Let me tell you, the enemy saw what you could not. He waged war against you because he knew your destiny carried the power to change entire generations. He knew that your obedience would set captives free, lift families, and rebuild communities. That is why the storms raged so fiercely. That is why the pressure was so intense. That is why doors slammed shut just as you reached out for them. He fought against you because he feared what you would become. But you did not break. You endured. And now, as a result, the scale tips in your favor. Heaven has seen your faithfulness, and the moment of release has come. Archangel Michael has stood by your side through every unseen battle when the enemy whispered shame in your ear. Michael's roar scattered the darkness when traps were set to entangle you. Michael's sword sliced them apart when darkness sought to erase your name. Michael's wings shielded it from harm. You may not have seen him, but his presence carried you, and now he thunders in triumph. The decree is sealed, and the release is underway. Today, the question isn't about whether you deserve this blessing. It is about whether you will believe in it. Will you receive the abundance that God has prepared for you? Will you accept the financial miracle that has already been written into your destiny? This is your moment to manifest wealth, abundance, and prosperity. It is time to stand in faith and declare that the wealth you've been waiting for is now yours. The time has come to attract the financial blessings that have always been meant for you. How will you embrace the abundance waiting to flow into your life? Remember, the power to manifest money and abundance begins with your belief. How you see yourself in this moment will determine what you receive. Do not hold back your faith, for God has decreed your wealth, and now is the time to step into it. So, beloved, stand in the fullness of your faith. Declare it out loud: I am ready to receive my inheritance. I am ready for the financial breakthrough. I believe that God has written my prosperity into my destiny. Keep the vision of abundance before you, and trust that God is not just opening the doors to wealth, He is throwing them wide open. Manifesting money, attracting abundance, and receiving financial miracles are all within your reach. It starts with believing that it is your divine right to live in prosperity, and today is the day you will see that manifest. This is your moment, and it has been written in heaven. Stand firm, beloved, and know that everything you need is already being released to you. The scroll is open, the decree is sealed, your blessing is here, beloved. I know the doubts that still whisper in your heart. You wonder, what if I am not enough? What if I mishandle what is given? Hear me. You are not carrying this alone. The same Spirit that whispered comfort in your nights will speak wisdom in your days. The same angels that fought to preserve the inheritance will protect it once it rests in your hands. I will not abandon you to the weight of stewardship. I will walk with you, counsel you, steady you. You are not chosen because of perfection. You are chosen because of my choice, and my choice cannot be overturned. So rise now in faith. Lift your head, straighten your shoulders, step boldly into covenant. Say it with your voice, write it with your hands, declare it with your life. Yoke broken. Let that phrase become the anthem of your testimony. Let it echo across generations. Let it be remembered as the moment you agreed with heaven's decree. The scroll is open. The decree is sealed. The angels are rejoicing. Michael is roaring, and heaven itself leans forward to witness your yes. Do not shrink back. Do not delay. Do not doubt. This is your hour. 1.8 trillion, your inheritance, your covenant, your justice, your legacy. Stand awake, stand ready, stand believing. The yoke is broken. The blessing is released. The story has shifted.